Caricature as a form of visual art has been around for centuries, and nascent versions of it originate from ancient times. From ancient Egypt to the Renaissance masters, exaggerated depictions were used to serve different purposes. In this episode, we are going to explore the fascinating story of caricature. But first, let's come up with a definition for the word caricature. It comes from the Italian word caricare, which means a loaded or exaggerated portrait, and a dictionary definition goes like this: a picture, description, or imitation of a person in which certain striking features are exaggerated to create a comic or grotesque effect. So, one key word here is exaggeration, which comes in degrees depending on the style of the artist. It can be pretty mild and barely noticeable, or extreme and conspicuous. This drawing by Fechin is a good example of a mildly exaggerated portrait, which can almost be regarded as a caricature. Or this one by Sebastian Kruger, which is highly rendered and utterly realistic. On the other hand, some artists have picked the opposite direction with utmost amplification or maximum simplification. The result can be a highly minimal linear drawing or one with exotic, almost unnatural features. The formal elements that are usually exaggerated include dimensions and proportions, perspective, bony structures, and any other characteristic feature. Color can also be exaggerated, as in some impressionistic and Fauvist paintings, which is another topic and will be discussed separately. Another key point is the purpose behind exaggeration. Is it made simply to entertain and ridicule somebody, or does it serve a ritual purpose in an ancient society? Is it made to create a dramatic effect? For example, in the case of Greek theater masks that were commonly used by actors on the stage throughout the ancient times. Extreme exaggeration might be referred to as deformation. In that case, likeness is not the first thing on the mind of the artist. It is most often done to bring about an abstract and exotic depiction of a face or figure. Human bodies are deformed and twisted, faces are elongated and broken, and certain features might be completely obliterated for the sake of a deeper expression, as in the early 20th century Expressionist movement art. But way before 20th century Expressionist art, caricature was practiced as a personal hobby, or sometimes as a serious means of expression to evoke certain feelings in the viewer. Da Vinci was always fascinated by people who had bizarre looks, and according to Vasari, Leonardo would follow curious-looking people through the streets of Florence and later recreate their exaggerated likenesses from memory. Hieronymus Bosch, Leonardo's contemporary in the north, depicted multiple humanoid creatures in exotic settings, presumably to evoke religious feelings. But true caricature as a satirical portrait of a known person emerged with the Carracci brothers in the late 16th century. They created informal comic sketches of friends and courtiers, exaggerating their features for humorous effect. The 18th century, particularly in England, was a golden age for caricature. Artists such as William Hogarth, James Gilbey, and Thomas Rowlandson focused on everyday life with humor and bawdiness, portraying the elite and exposing hypocrisy. In the 19th century, mass media and political satire gave rise to the importance of caricature. In France, Honoré Daumier created sharp political caricatures that got him jailed and even sent to a mental hospital by King Louis Philippe. In Britain, Punch magazine was born in 1841, blending humor with powerful caricature. In America, Thomas Nast used caricature in Harper's Weekly to fight political corruption. He even introduced and helped propagate the Republican elephant and Democratic donkey. In modern times, caricature has adapted to new mediums. Political cartoons remain a key part of journalism, tackling global issues with wit. Al Hirschfeld and Mort Drucker brought celebrity caricature into pop culture. Street caricaturists continue to entertain crowds with fast, funny portraits. And with digital tools, artists today can instantly create and share work online, expanding both reach and style. Caricature is more than comedy, it is commentary. It exaggerates not just features but truth. Across centuries and cultures, it has mocked the mighty, entertained the masses, and reminded us that nothing and no one is above a little distortion. Now, after this brief study of caricature history, let me explain my approach for this caricature drawing. I chose the head in profile so I could emphasize the large face with amplified features against the small cranium. Therefore, it is not just facial features that count in caricature drawing. Playing with the proportion of the cranium to the face is even more important, or the proportion of the head to the torso. I intentionally gave the hooked nose a bird-like shape and balanced it off with that protruding lower lip. Please like this video and subscribe for more.